Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at a team that I really wanted to showcase, and we have some funny debates here still against people from Twitter. Shout out to you all. Thanks so much for that, because league change for me is always quite late and I just don't really want to do the videos up then. But today we're going to take a look at a team that's inspired by the last regional winner. The regional winner from Pittsburgh, LNDsSteinar. And this is going to be an interesting team here, a team that I have also in my top team video, where I also took a lot of inspiration from the regional events that happened recently, because I was following them all quite in depth. And what we saw in the regional in Pittsburgh was the domination of Bastiodon, and in a way that I kind of wanted to see if we can replicate it here as well for the Go Battle League. Of course, it's going to be friendly battles, but I think all the players here played with really good solid teams and really like normal teams that you would usually see as well in the Go Battle League. And so I feel like this was a very solid test for this team, and let me tell you, this test was quite successful. This team was absolutely amazing. I think we lost once. With this team. I think the rest we were able to beat quite easily, and this kind of showcases on the power of the team, and we're going to talk a little bit about why this is the case. So basically, what was happening is, actually also one of the main reasons why I was fully looking forward to that last regional event was that my brother was playing there in Pittsburgh. And so he got all the way up to the grand finals on the winner's side as well, and he lost at the end of the day. He got the second place, which is really strong, of course, like don't get me wrong, really strong. But the way he lost was quite interesting, because LNDsSteinar used the Bastion like already in all of those battles before very, very wisely, and most of the time he was using his Pokemon in the lead, and I was like, this would be an interesting one here. This Pokemon in the lead is like something we've seen, of course, already in earlier seasons, but I'm using only Pokemon that they had on their team as well. And this was a very wise choice. I really enjoy the type this team is built. I really enjoy the Pokemon working together with each other on this team. And I know that for a lot of people, maybe the Galarian Moltres is something that you kind of be like, oh, what can I use instead? Murkrow. Even the non-Shadow Murkrow is totally fine. The non-Shadow Murkrow actually is going to have better play against most of the Pokemon in two-shield scenario compared to the normal Murkrow. This is why, by the way, the non-Shadow Murkrow was actually more popular than the Shadow Murkrow as well in the recent regionals. So yeah, this is going to be still a very good team, even if you don't have the Moltres. But the main idea behind this team is kind of what I like a lot. And here we're going to see already what I mean with that. We're going to have a horrible lead. We're going to have a fighter against us. What do? We're going to our own fighter. This is not really an ideal lead either. They're going to be able to outspeed us to the Frenzy Plant. But what we're going to be able to do here is at least we're going to be able to get a little bit of damage in now against the opponent. But also, we are going to be able to keep our Moltres alive for later on, which is going to be able to one-shot the Chestnut with a flying type move, which is going to be amazing. And what we can do here as well is we can go into our Bastion. I actually chose Swap Out straight away. I wasn't thinking there. I was like, why did I do that? I should just swap straight away. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to get energy. I do not want to knock them out with a charge move. I don't really care on how much damage they're going to do against me. I just want the energy. I don't want to go for any charge move at all. I am just going to go ahead and go for the full farm down, because guess what? We're going to have Flamethrower. Flamethrower is going to be a great coverage move against a Chestnut, and we kind of want to utilize it. And so we're going to be able to go up now to 100 energy with a fast move on our Bastiodon. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for that Flamethrower to get the first shield from the opponent. They still have a shield left, but they're going to reveal that they're going to have the Charizard in the back. This is so far a really, really tough battle for me. Like a really, really tough one. They had a great answer against my backline there as well. But the only way of me winning this one is if I call the bait here, right? I wasn't even too sure about that. Because if the opponent goes for their hard-hitting move here, I would have been able to farm them down with a Bastiodon, and I would have easily been able to get to at least another Flamethrower. And I'm not too sure at this range. Maybe Flamethrower will have put them into range already for the Smackdown down as well. Could be the case. But anyway, we are going to be able to win this battle while we actually had quite a tough one there against the opponent. And we're going to take a look here at the one Pokemon that I had as the one meta breaker for this team on my top team video. Again, by the way, linked down in the end card if you want to see some more team ideas for the current Great League meta. And this was the one meta breaker here, because the backline really struggles against it, and they're actually going to be able to win against the Bastion as well. Bastion's best play here is going to be the zero shield scenario. Not so much when they swap in Marowak and actually get the free fast move in here as well. Very, very well done there by the opponent. And because I got the free fast move in there as well, which I saw which I realized at the time and then completely forgot to consider in the calculation of how many fast moves they need for their own charge move here. Great job to me here, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to be in a bit of a tough spot here. The Roxer is going to, not knock us out, but we're going to be able to at least go for the full farm down. But we're only going to be able to get one move off, as the Daniel's fast move is going to be easily enough to knock out now our Moltres. And so we're going to be in a spot where it's basically impossible to win. Like, we're going to have a very tough lead. We have the Say-Stop there, which wasn't ideal, mainly also from my side, to be fair. I could have played a little bit better. And now we're going to have the Daniel against us here, which is going to be a Pokemon that is going to be very tough for us to deal with. We're going to be able to go for a charge move though. That is going to be alright. It's going to allow us to get not the KO, but they're going to have this Suicune in the bag. What a Pokemon. That is a fun one, and this is looking bad for us. While Suicune is not really the best Pokemon whatsoever, it has access to Ice Fang and Scald. I think also Bubble Beam learns as well if it really wants to, but Scald is the way to go here. And it's of course going to be able to knock us out while we resist the hits here. They're actually going to be able to knock us out here, and I think this was maybe even the only loss that we had with this team, and that was against the Suicune. Anyway, we're going to have a great lead here. That's what you maybe think, but it's actually not the case. It is really not the case. This is not the greatest lead. It is not the worst lead though, either, especially if they go for Air Cutter. Usually they're running Payback, which is then going to be a little bit better. But here we see the sub out now into the Clodsire. I do think that the Moltres is the better answer for this Pokemon. But of course it kind of helps if they go for an Earthquake, which I didn't really get at that point. We're going to use a Shield now though, because I expect that they have like the Stud Bomb there then, which they're going to go for. But at this point I can guarantee I lie myself. I am going to be able to go ahead and go for the Brave Bird, which is going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent. And they're going to swap out back into their Corviknight here, which is alright, because the energy is going to go to waste here against our Bastion. We have the Flamethrower Slow, which is going to do some super effective damage against the opponent. And yeah, basically, again, if you have a bad lead with this team, swap out into the Pokemon that is worse against the lead. You're going to be able to do so much because you have like two different weaknesses basically for the lead here that are really the weaknesses, which is going to be ground and it's going to be fighting. For fighting, it's better to, I think, keep the Annihilate usually, because Annihilate is going to be one that resists fighting type moves. Even though, of course, also the flying type of Moltres is going to be great against it, or then Murkrow if you want to play the cheaper version basically of this team. But basically, if you're going to encounter a ground-type Pokemon, you can swap out into the Annihilate as your Say-Stop and still have the Moltres in the back to counter that. And so I really, really enjoy this team. I think the idea behind this team is crazy good, and I would recommend you definitely to give it a try. Here we're going to still keep our Fly for that Drago. We a lot of times you kind of want to pivot as well around this team, which allows you to keep some energy for later on, which is so much better now with a 45-second switch timer. It's like so easier to do. So we have a horrible lead here. I want to sub out straight away, but I misclicked. I think I just clicked over the Moltres on accident. And so we're going to have now the opponents, Empoleon against our Moltres, and they're going to swap out into the Charizard. Charizard is going to be an alright matchup for us. It's not going to be a great matchup for us, but we're going to be able to get our shield back here anyway with a Fly that's coming through. We're going to try our best to go for another one, but as you will see here as well, we are going to, let this move go. It's going to be the Blast Burn, so great play by the opponent, but we're going to get a little bit of energy here. I can swap out of here into my Annihilate. This is going to allow us to go for some counter pressure, counter pressure against the opponent's Empoleon, but they can of course swap out. Then we have the Latias in the back here. Latias, very, very cool Pokemon by the way. It's a very strong Pokemon to run in the current meta because it has Aura Sphere and Dragon Breath. And Dragon Breath plus Aura Sphere is quite a ridiculous combination. Together then with a nice nuke move and the Mist Ball, it's going to be a very, very strong Pokemon to run. Here, they're still going to get another move here. It is just going to be the Aura Sphere. I was aware of that as well at this point, but even double resisted Aura Sphere is doing a lot of damage against an Annihilate. And we're going to be able to get the KO, and we're going to get one more fast move off. This easily puts them into range for a Flamethrower, but we have to get there first. Can we get there in time? It's going to be so difficult. They got a lot of energy before, but we can actually still get to our charge move. It doesn't matter if we go for Stone Edge or the Flamethrower. So I'm just going to go for the BM move, go for the Stone Edge, knock them out, and win the battle. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to run. Dunsparce, not a great lead. So what do we do here? Like honestly, what do we do here? We're going to have a weakness on two of our Pokemon against this Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that is running coverage for the flying types as well as the Pokemon that are weak to ground. And we're going to have a Pokemon that's flying. And we're going to have a Pokemon weak to ground. But we can also have the weak to ground move, the Drill Run here, against our flying type Pokemon. And all of a sudden it's not looking that bad. And what we can do as well is we can play out the 2 shields here. I'm not really in a position right now where I have to go ahead and be like, yeah, I need to keep my shields for something for later on. I can just invest in my Moltres. We have a ton of energy in our lead. I knew that the energy wouldn't really help us in the matchup generally, so I kept it on it. And I'm going to have the opponent kind of low here already. They're going to swap out now into the Gyarados, and like, does the Gyarados want to really take a fly here? I don't really think so. And so I can go for that one. But I can also swap out of here and go for the Stone Edge that we just locked up before. And this is kind of the beauty of this team, kind of pivoting around with the energy, because this is going to allow you to just do so much more in so many more matchups. And we're going to reveal here the final Pokemon, which is going to be Corsola. We are going to be able to take a hit here. Smackdown is chunking away off their health. I can go for the Stone Edge. It's going to do around like 35% health of the opponent as well. Yeah, we're going to have here the Stone Edge coming through. This is going to be able to get them kind of low. And we're going to be able to now, let's go for a no shield. This is going to be the Nightshade coming through. That's going to be alright. We can go into the Moltres. And let's go for the Fly here, which is going to allow us to get the KO against the opponent's Pokemon there. We have the Dunsparce still. We still have our Annihilape with full health, and we will be able to win this battle. And with that, we can go ahead and move out into the next one. We are going to have the Goodra against our Bastiodon. This is going to be an alright matchup for us. It's going to be a matchup where they're going to do some super effective fast charge move pressure here. The fast moves are resisted, and we just have resisted damage, like neutral damage on all of our moves, which is going to be kind of alright, because what you see already with 2 Awkward Tails and like the Dragon Breath damage, like it's kind of, yeah, as much as I do to them. They also button onto the Corviknight, and honestly, I have a decent answer on the Moltres. I'm not really in a bad position here. The issue is if they're going to boost here. If they want to boost here, it's going to be a little bit more awkward, but it's only a 30% chance to boost with the Air Cutter. Alright. But again, we can even take another hit here with the boost, but I don't really want to see another boost here again from the opponent. Okay. Yeah, this is not really going like we expected. But at the end of the day, it's still not too bad, because the opponent is going to swap out of here into the Goodra, onto a Fly, catching the move onto a Pokemon that takes neutral damage instead of keeping the resisted damage. But now we can kind of unleash the Annihilape, and this is something I wanted to do the entire time. Annihilape is such a good Pokemon in the back there as well. Like, this is the thing, you either have the option to have in the back a Pokemon that can destroy people with like the Rage Twist and the boost that is coming with this Pokemon, or you're going to be able to go for the Brave Bird on your Moltres in order to knock out Pokemon with that. And this is kind of why I like this team a lot, like why I think this is a great team to climb right now, and I think it's maybe even the best team currently to climb. You have Bulk in the lead with Bastiodon, a Pokemon that basically beats everything that's not weak to you. You have 2 Pokemon that have kind of good coverage and generally good synergy with the lead, but also they kind of function themselves in a very certain way. And honestly, I just think this is such a great team. But yeah, this is already going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. Sorry that I played Bastiodon in friendly battles. I know, like, I got some comments afterwards being like, oh, why do you do this? I just want to showcase this team. I think it's such a great team. I think I kind of want to also highlight here again on how LNDsSteinar won this tournament. And I think Bastiodon plus, like, the energy management onto the Pokemon in the back is just so cool. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then.